He wrote the Vedanta Sutra, which are codes which reveal the meaning of the Vedas. But it's very, very difficult for someone who doesn't have very advanced intelligence to be able to break apart and understand these codes. Therefore, for the benefit of all of us, Srila Vyasadeva compiled the Srimad Bhagavatam. And Srimad Bhagavatam is, just like Bhagavad Gita, it was spoken by Krishna. Srimad Bhagavatam was spoken about Krishna. Has everyone here heard of Srimad Bhagavatam? So Srimad Bhagavatam is about there's different...
there's a setup here.
Yeah, generally it's about a 17 or 20 volume set. And it includes every aspect of life. Sociology, psychology, philosophy, economics, science. There's a chapter in Srimad Bhagavatam called Measurement of Time from the Atom. And ancients had a system for measuring time, the amount of time it took for the sun to travel through so many atoms of space. There's so much advanced knowledge that's there. It explains about life on other planets. There's parts of it explains about space travel between different planets. It explains in detail, in minute detail, how this universe was created, the elements which make up this universe and our body, and how they are interacting. It explains about different incarnations, avatars, incarnations of God who was descended. This chart Maheshwar has compiled, explains all these things in detail. At any time after the class, you can take a look at this, and he has different small little sheets that you can pick up also that explain different aspects of the philosophy in great detail. So the Vedanta Sutra, the first aphorism in the Vedanta Sutra is Atato Brahma Jigyasya, which means that now is the time to inquire. Now is the time to inquire. Prabhu tells a story, it's kind of interesting. There was a politician in India who had spent his whole life into politics. At the same time, he was very much interested in self-realization his whole life. And he was preparing toward his later life at a time when generally people who have advanced intelligence, they realize that this life is coming gradually to an end, and I have to start becoming really sincere about practicing spiritual life and realizing my eternal spiritual nature. So he was traveling out in fields in India somewhere. He said on some official business, and he happened to be out there, and he heard one of the local farmers yell out that now is the time. And he was talking about something in relation with his agricultural fields. But when he said that, he remembered this verse from Vedanta Sutra, Tato Brahma Jigyasa. And he immediately took that as a sign from God, from Krishna, and he went and he quit his job, he retired and devoted himself to spiritual life. So now is the time for self-realization. It doesn't say that, after we quit working and after we retire, then that is the time we can start inquiring into spiritual life. No, actually now is the time, and especially as when we're younger and we still have some power in our senses and our mind and our intellect to engage practically in self-realization. It's so important, so essential for us to do this. I remember when I was younger and I was just beginning. What time does that say?
It's time is clock over there.
7:40.
Okay.
TNT.
I was a student in my first year of college, in my first semester, in a small liberal arts college in New Hampshire. And I was very interested like many of you, I was pretty much a seeker my whole life. And I was, so I was in my first semester at school, and I was very disillusioned with school. I kind of agreed to go to college because my parents really wanted me to go, and a lot of my friends were going, so I thought, well, I'll go for the first year and try it out. And I was very unmotivated by anything. Even the philosophy course I took, I really didn't like because, it seemed like everyone had such big egos and everyone was just kind of trying to prove something or prove their learning or something. But the one course I was really interested in, I really liked, was theater. And at the end of the semester, my theater teacher told me, he said, Bill, he said, I think you have some talent. Come back next semester and I'll give you better roles. And, but we have seniority, so we've had to give them more. Welcome.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna. We've had to give the more senior students the better roles. So I told him, I said, Mr. Bennett, you're a great theater teacher. I really like you a lot, and I really love the theater. It's a great place to learn self-expression, and I'm learning so much here. I really appreciate your class. But I have to be completely honest and tell you that I've been playing the parts of so many different people. I have no idea who I am. And after that, I actually left, and with a friend of mine, we hitchhiked out to California. We did different things. Eventually, we ended up joining the Hare Krishna temple there. So this is really the most important thing, and this question should be constantly on our mind. Why? Because we're human beings, and we're not just animals. The animal nature is and we also do this. We eat, we sleep, we have some system of defense, and there's sex drive is there. But a human being means, by definition, according to the Vedas, that we have intelligence, and then we engage that intelligence in understanding, who am I? I mean, life is such an incredible mystery. How many, on a day-to-day basis, how many things are going on in our body that are just totally mystical and totally bewildering, and no one, even the greatest scientists, don't really understand what's going on. They can't duplicate any of the processes that are going on in our body. The process of assimilation of our food and how that's transformed into blood, into our tissues, into sustenance is a miracle. The synapses in the brain, how information is processed is miracle. There's so many miracles going on. There's so many things we don't know. Just the hairs on our head. How many hairs are there? We have no idea how many thousands or millions of hairs are there. If we break it down, we have to admit, we know